Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and I am absolutely thrilled to be with you once again here on the Paranormal Portal. As it's Saturday night, I'm not alone here. I got my good friend and my co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard, here.
He actually unmuted me this time.
Uh-oh. Still not working, though, huh?
Oh, gosh, dang it.
Those dang microphones. What was it? We were just talking about testing equipment, weren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Make sure to test your gear.
Didn't that come up just a few minutes ago?
Is this thing working? I just can't hear me.
No, it's not working at all.
Let me do it again.
All right, I'm going to mute you. It's a mutiny, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Saturday show, though. We are live and a little bit unprepared, but other than that, we're doing absolutely wonderful. Are you live?
I'm prepared. No.
You got nothing, huh?
I got nothing. Mic's on.
It is on, huh? Did it just, let me just unplug it here. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to try this end of it. I don't know.
Wow.
Okay. You want to unplug and replug that one again?
Yeah.
Nothing like a little live on the air troubleshooting here on the Portal, ladies and gentlemen, but that's how we roll.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Oh, there you go.
Check. Hi.
Well, welcome to the show, Don.
Hey, it's Saturday night.
It's a Saturday night, and this is the Paranormal Portal Studios. And if you're new to the show, this may be the only paranormal show in existence that is actually haunted.
It's been a while since you've said that, actually.
I haven't usually had to say it for a long time, but when things like this come up, it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I'm going to turn the moon on, but why don't you talk to the folks out there?
As I just put a Girl Scout cookie in my mouth, he's going to put his moon on. Watch out. So, it's a Saturday, thank God.
It is. It is. I'm now back, so
Yeah,
I got the moon on.
I told you I got the studio moved downstairs finally to the pre-basement. Hey, let me get the lighter.
Oh, yeah, you need a little light.
I got to light my candle.
Wow. We have just been doing a whole bunch of talking tonight in preparation
Come on,
for the
baby,
show
light
and
my
for many
fire.
things, but unfortunately, the clock runs away on us, and without the karaoke, though.
Oh, sorry.
This is
Look at that. I look eerie tonight.
Oh, that's kind of good, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking it.
You got better lighting than I got.
Oh,
I better
'cause
light my candle and see what the
I
hell
got that
happens.
beauty light right here.
I got the LCD
LCD,
dry
okay.
light. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is another episode of our Paranormal Mayhem that Don and I get into, and it's just kind of all on the board. But as we're talking, if you want to be a part of the discussion and the conversation, please give us a call. The phone number is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500 if you'd like to talk to us or share something with us that's happened to you, or you just want to just say hi and tell us about your day. No, I'm just kidding. Unfortunately, it's not that kind of show, but we love you that much that, it'd probably go okay. But
Pirates of the Paranormal. Thank you, Lewis.
Lewis said that.
Yeah.
Lewis is kind of clever. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's on it.
He's on
it. Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can open this pop-out chat now without crashing my entire browser.
Oh, isn't that fun?
My haunted mouse is still giving me hell, but
Oh yeah.
in this case, I don't think it's actually haunted. I think it's just really freaking old and
It's time to get a new
and
one.
ugly. How you doing, Rob? Good to see you. Bigfoot Michigan Rob's here.
Excellent.
How are we doing so far?
We're
We're already up to 21. I got.
Yeah, well, I got 25, so
Well,
I like
you-
my list better.
Yeah. Well, I'm only the host and control of it, but you get a better list than I get.
Well, that's because I can pay a lot more attention to this kind of thing.
No, I mean just the numbers. Our numbers are always so different. I don't
That's
understand
true.
that.
That's true. As a matter of fact, hey, let's do this real quick. Bigfoot Michigan Rob's here. Black Tree, how are you? Chev, how are you? Nice to see you. Flowers and Pups. How are you? Nice. That's a new name to me.
You said Flowers and Pups?
Yeah, Flowers and Pups.
Oh, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
I got to see how that's spelled. That sounds cool.
It's Flowers and Pups.
Yeah, I kind of got that phonetically, but I was just, I just like to see him in person because I figure if I see him, then I'll maybe remember him better because I'm not good with names.
Yep.
So-
We got Gemini Moon, Hacker, Hollywood. That's a new one to me. Hollywood. Got Kenneth Christian. He's been in a couple times. Got our friend Lewis and MCAT and Nellie Moen. Oh, look, Paisley's here. Hi, Paisley. Pam. Yeah, that guy. Brent. Renee, Travis Pritchard, and Pritchett. And Zero Mind, and the guy in blue at the bottom there, that'd be me, of course.
Yeah, you're at the bottom of the
At
list.
the bottom of the list, yeah.
Last but not least, Mr. Aether Archives.
There you go.
And that is Don, ladies and gentlemen. If you're ever in the chat and you're wondering who the hell came up with a name like that, that was Don.
Don also came up with Don's name. His original email address.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
That thing was like 40 characters long.
I know, that was an ugly email. It's no wonder nobody emailed you ever.
Solus ipse.
How you doing,
Barbus
Pam? Good to
tennis
see you.
Sapientis.
Yeah, exactly. Which is Latin for, again, something to do with...
Only as wise as my beard is long.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep. Gotcha. So anyway, we're going to go through a Paranormal Mayhem episode. Let's go through the TFR list too, Don.
Yeah, absolutely.
See who's out there in the TFR land, because we love you all everywhere, wherever you're appearing on the show.
And we all love you equally.
Yeah, there's equal loving going on here. That's all I'm saying.
So we got TFR Wookie, Rihanna. Lewis is in here as well. Oh, look, there's Brent. Hillbilly Hermit's here. Don's 2U2. How are you? Uriah, haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, bud?
All right, good to see you, brother.
TC Hawk, Gentle Habitant, and there's Nick, Progeny of Light. How are you?
Good to see you, Nick. I gotta do some updating on my show tiles, brother. So, I mean, if you're feeling like you need something to do, just give me an email, will you? And ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking at my show tile on YouTube, you will see this amazing border and all of this amazing artwork. That is the handiwork of our good friend Nick Zervos, who is Progeny of Light in the TFR chat room, and he's a brilliant artist. He's done a lot of work for several hosts, and just beautiful stuff. So thank you, brother, for this gift that you did give us. But I'm thinking of dressing it up a little bit more. So, and I know I cannot duplicate your work. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for any graphic design work, you let us know. We'll get you in touch with the master himself. So
there you go.
So yeah, let's do some Paranormal Mayhem, Don.
Mayhem.
What do you say to that?
I say let's get a smattering of Paranormal Mayhem going. There you go.
I'm not even sure how much a smattering is, but that's the name of the show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
A splattering.
A splattering, a smattering. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
to
well,
that.
then there's nothing to say.
There is nothing more I can add to that without being a total creep. So I'm going to leave that alone. But Don, did you know that scientists are planning to clone a 42,000-year-old extinct horse species and bring it back to life?
Well, they've been working on mastodons, so why not?
Have they? Oh, you mean
woolly mammoths.
Woolly
sorry.
mammoths,
yeah, woolly mammoths. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true too, and I know they have a lot of genetic material to work with, since they found a few of those frozen up in the tundra or in the permafrost up in the Arctic. Yeah.
Like upper Ukraine, somewhere way up there like that.
Right.
Siberia, somewhere like. As a matter of fact, there was a guy. What's his name? Josh something on the Discovery Channel. He went there. And they were showing him how they get the bones out.
Josh Gates.
Yeah. Yes, Josh Gates.
Yep.
And it was just a great episode. But what kind of horse is this, by the way, other than a 42,000-year-old
Well, that's
horse?
the kind it is. I don't know how big it is. But you know what? Here's the thing. And I might be in the minority, but I think it's kind of cool to bring these things back. I'm ready for Jurassic Park. I swear to God I am. I'll be...
Oh, my God, no.
I'm not saying, necessarily T-Rexes and stuff, but... Bring back some of the cool ones, like a Triceratops and what are those ankylosauruses that look like turtles with that mace on their tail?
Right, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I wonder how they taste on the grill.
Oh my God, I almost spit. I almost choked on that. Thank you, Don.
You're welcome, because you're wondering too.
Yeah, well, no.
I wonder how that Don Longbeard guy can grow one up. Oh, is it tasty?
No, I'm wondering. I'm wondering why I didn't expect that, because every time something with meat comes along, you're always thinking of a recipe.
Well, I can't help it. I'm a fat guy, and I'm fat for a reason, because I know how to cook.
It takes a lot of calories to look this good,
That's
ladies.
right.
That's all I'm saying.
A lot of carbohydrates.
I'm like coiled steel. up in here. Don't let the belly fool you. No, I'm not. I wish I were, but I'm not. But no, this is. I'll read a smidgen of this, and this is coming from mysteriousuniverse.org, and it's a great site if you're looking for paranormal information and stuff. Definitely check it out. They do a great job. It's real broad spectrum too. It's not like they just have one kind of category or another. It's they do it all over there, and the articles are really well put together, and I really enjoy reading that site, and I highly suggest you check it out. But the article is written by Jocelyn LeBlanc, and it's from April 12th of this year, and she says, scientists are pretty sure that they can extract cells from a 42,000-year-old extinct foal and bring it back to life. Well, I don't think they should say that. They can recreate it maybe, but it's not like they're going to Frankenstein this horse, are they?
Well, who knows?
They believe that if they can bring back the extinct Lenskaya breed of horse, they will eventually be able to successfully resurrect the woolly mammoth. Oh, so this is a stepping stone then.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is a stepping stone.
Well, they probably have fresher DNA from the horse.
I imagine what it is it's probably more to do with proving the concept. And you're right, it probably is a stronger DNA. Yeah. I don't know, when did woolly mammoths kind of disappear?
A long time ago.
Yeah, but to me, last week is a long time ago. You know?
Last night I couldn't remember what I was doing, so hey.
But you know what I mean? It's like how long is it longer than 42,000 years that these horses or these woolly mammoths disappear?
I'm looking it up.
I knew you would. That's why I asked the questions, ladies and gentlemen. Don is the portal reference section. He's our portal Googler.
That's why I'm called Aether Archives.
That's right.
The last mammoth died out about 3,600 years ago. So that's actually that's a lot more recent than I would have thought. But while most did indeed died out 10,000 years ago, one tiny population endured in the Wrangel Island until 1650.
No kidding.
Yeah, so the Pilgrims were already here when they died out.
That's crazy, huh?
That is nuts.
So what was wrong going on that island? Were they hunted or?
No,
does it say what finally wiped them out?
I just found the summary. Let me dig. All right, let's see here. So,
I mean, that's the next question I got. Is were they just hunted and that was the last one to be around, or what happened? Because it's not like any cataclysms happened around that time, unless the Tunguska. Yeah, that forest or whatever. I'm just sorry. I'm just tripping all over my own tongue.
Whatever the exact cause of the mammoth extinction, the fact that they did not succumb to inbreeding is very good news for conservation. Oh. So they don't really know.
Okay.
So they just must have
Right. Well, that's cool. I think that's cool, and I'm all for that. I think bringing back mammoths would be excellent.
But where will that stop?
Well, I don't know. Does it need to?
Well,
I mean they can bring back the Tasmanian wolf. They can bring back all these.
But those are just stepping stones to maybe bringing back the dead.
Well, it is kind of, but
I mean, like human dead.
Well,
or
I don't know.
I mean, Walt Disney had his head
frozen. Yeah. That's the legend. Yeah. That's the legend. But here's the thing. I think, because so many species right now are being just totally decimated by our neglect of the natural world. So to me, it's kind of cool. It's like, hey, you know what? We can maybe clean this up and have a do-over about this. And if they go out by natural selection, they do, and that's just the way it works, I guess. But if we bring them back and say, you know what, sorry, let's rewind.
Does sorry really cut it?
I don't know if it does, but at least it's a I don't know, and I'm sure the other part of it is maybe it'll help us learn more about the world around us. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's cool, but I mean, honest to God, I when I saw Jurassic Park, and that was obviously when it came out,
right.
I literally was just in awe. I was just like, oh my God, because it's the first time that I saw what maybe that looked like. You see those amazing artist renditions and then the stop motion stuff.
Right.
Where they're like
it's
that.
Amazing, isn't it?
And it was like all of a sudden these things were fluid and moving on the screen, and it was absolutely breathtaking. And I think it'd be kind of neat to see that up close, not really up close, but I don't know. But then again, maybe that's a stupid thing, and maybe I'm just being stupid saying that. I don't know.
Well, no. you know.
Well, I don't know what benefit it would be to bring back the dinosaurs other than we would have an opportunity to observe life that hasn't been seen for millions of years.
Well, yeah, and that would give us a better idea, I suppose, of how hardy they were, and what could have contributed to their extinction.
Hmm.
Other than shooting them to death.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure that early modern man didn't exactly spear them all to death.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, but I don't know if I would deal. I don't know if I'd want to bring back something that went extinct naturally,
Right.
because we
That's
don't
true.
really have the modern information on how they would actually react. And besides, once you bring these critters back to life, where are they going to live? They're going to live in a friggin' zoo. They're not going to
Right.
live. They're not going to be able
Well,
to
maybe
live
they could make an
on the
island.
wild.
Put an
Oh my
island
God.
aside and give helicopter tours or something. I don't know. Get that tunnel system where you're looking through the glass and there's a T-Rex chewing on the tube and stuff. I'm just saying it's just some options. But no, I don't know. But Deb in the chat is saying I was watching a show the other day, and they were getting pieces of the woolly mammoth to get the DNA, and although they got some good ones, not enough to clone one yet. Okay, so they haven't. That's bizarre. I thought maybe there was too much damage from that little
Right, the
that little one.
permafrost. Yeah, well,
Freezer burn.
Yeah, so I mean, when we're talking about Josh what?
Josh Gates.
Josh Gates.
Yep.
They said that a lot of it was basically freezer damage from being in the permafrost for so long, is
Right.
what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
You shall not pass. There you go, hacker. And thank you, Gemini.
What is
She
going on?
likes the light play on my beard tonight.
Yes, it's lovely.
It's so
It
soft.
brings out the color of your lips.
It also shows all the gray.
Oh, it looks kind of tan, actually. It doesn't look like gray in that candlelight.
No, everything's better in candlelight.
Wow. I look way better in dark. That's all I'm saying.
Goodness, excuse me.
So, yeah, I don't know. But I think that's cool. This is the part of science, ladies and gentlemen, that really does excite me because, I don't know, it's kind of like a time machine in a way, to get a glimpse. Now, the question I would have about that whole dinosaur thing is, I think the oxygen level in the atmosphere was way higher back then.
Yeah, that's
and
a
so
good point,
perhaps even if we could, revitalize an embryo, maybe
Would
it
they
couldn't
be able to
exist
survive?
here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was thinking that same thing earlier when you brought it up. It's like, can they even exist in our modern world?
Right.
And I'm going to say no, because I'm going to make my opinion here, which is, I'm the one with the mic. But I don't think they would be able to, because we've
You're a little sassy over there. I can always mute you. No, I'm just kidding.
We've contaminated
Yeah.
so much of the earth. I mean, Fukushima, there was a place in, and you don't hear about it much, but there was a place in Russia that blew up that had like 3 or 4 cooling towers, just blew up. It's if you're there.
Chernobyl?
No, it's worse than Chernobyl.
When was this?
This is back 30 or 40 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was before
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. But they say you can't even stand there for more than an hour. You'll die.
Oh,
Seriously, you'll die. You'll
Wow.
get radiation poisoning. And so, but Chernobyl's almost the same, but Chernobyl's actually died off a lot more because it didn't have, and they dumped nuclear waste. Nuclear waste was dumped in rivers in Russia, and from this place, they have a river that runs red from the nuclear contamination.
Oh.
So how would anything that was here on a more pure Earth survive? I don't see it. They don't have the chance to adapt and grow and adapt. They just here they are. There
Right.
they go.
Right. Very
They're
interesting.
extinct again.
They might eat us. You're right, Nellie. I'm looking back at the chats, and
Yeah, they might
and
eat
that's
us,
true.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not for releasing them in the Yellowstone and letting them see what happens.
Don't worry, because that'll blow up someday soon.
Yeah. Well, thanks for Mr. Doomsday.
We're gonna die.
It's Doomsday Longbeard appearing nightly on the portal. Let's get your go bags, ladies and gentlemen. Doomsday's here. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I think it would have to be done, incredibly responsibly. And maybe it can't. Maybe there's just no way. Maybe those Jurassic Park movies are absolutely right. There's no way to bring it back and keep it contained because, life finds a way, as to quote the movies, and maybe that's true. I just think it's exciting to have the potential to understand that life because, here's the thing. It's like when I was a kid, dinosaurs were these lumbering things that dragged their tails. And then it was, some really incredible thinkers that started to put together the whole raptor connection with the birds and how they move. And they started addressing these old fossilized remains and put them in more of a bird context and realized that the tails weren't to drag on the ground. They were for balance so they could, run and do. Right. They were moving and they were mobile. They weren't these lumbering oafs. And so it made it a whole lot more interesting and exciting. And, it'd be nice to be able to put any of those arguments to rest.
Right.
But perhaps it just can't be done responsibly, and it would just be a nightmare. Those are all considerations. But, this is a show about conversation. This is a show about thoughts. And, we're just going to share our thoughts. And I appreciate all your guys' thoughts out there as well because, we just don't know. This is a whole unknowns.
Yeah, exactly.
But exciting stuff anyway. This is the kind of science that does excite me. The kind that doesn't is chemtrails and fluoridated water and stuff like that.
Yeah, that does have a...
That stuff kind of makes me a little
doesn't
nervous.
Do a body good, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, let's continue forward since we've addressed that, and I think we've come to a position. They may not be able to exist anyway. But I'm good with mammoths. I think that'd be fun to bring those back. I mean, we have elephants around, and so far they don't usually go crazy and flatten entire villages, but they do go crazy sometimes. But I think that's more by virtue of being, in the custody of people that don't take care of them well or whatever. Right. I don't know. So let's see what else we got here. So, oh no, this is terrible.
What?
This is the kind of science I don't like. This would be, jeez, oh my God. Okay, so this is from, again, Mysterious Universe, ladies and gentlemen. Again, has an article up, and this is by Paul Seaburn from April 13th as well, which is today. And he says, he's got an article on here that says, scientists put human brain genes in monkeys and made them smarter. Don, I saw this movie.
Yeah.
It didn't end well.
Yeah. No, I don't. Damn you. Yeah. Damn you to hell.
Yeah. I that is Planet of the Apes. What the hell are they doing?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
That's the whole premise of the movie, that the apes get smart and they decide they're kind of sick of us. And it doesn't go well for us. What the hell are people thinking?
So we were just talking about bringing back extinct, and now we're talking about
reshaping the life that's here.
Reshaping the life that's here, exactly.
So this is a perversion to me. This is the kind of stuff that I don't mean that no good can come from something like this, but it doesn't seem like much good would come from something like this.
No.
Do we need smarter monkeys? Is that something that we could really use now?
Aren't we just a bunch of monkeys that are a bunch smarter than monkeys?
I thought they were all in Washington anyway.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all night.
Those are baboons, and they're called a Congress.
Yeah, well, there's a reason they call them a Congress. But no, I think that smarter monkeys is not something that we currently need. No. I don't know why they would do that. Let's take a look at the article.
You know why? Because they can.
Well, that's just it. And that's the problem with science in a lot of ways, is that it's not whether they should, it's just to see if they can.
I always live by the mantra, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Okay, so he opens the article and says, it's time for the latest edition of What Could Possibly Go Wrong.
Sounds like an episode of us.
The game show that pits seemingly unethical science against potentially catastrophic predictions. Mm-hmm. In today's competition, scientists in China, 1 point already for the catastrophic team, announced they used gene editing to place human brain genes in rhesus macaque monkeys, and it made their brains smarter. Cue the music from every Planet of the Apes movie ever and let the game begin.
Yes.
And this quote is, the presented data represents the first attempt to experimentally interrogate the genetic basis of human brain origin using a transgenic monkey model, and it values the use of non-human primates in understanding human unique traits. Oh, man, they needed to make monkeys smarter to figure that out. Wait, they're different from us.
It's a bunch of monkeys that did it.
Yeah, exactly. This is really a bad idea.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that makes me nervous, you know. I mean, like really, you know, why the hell would they do that? Don, anything?
Once again, I come back to because they can.
Right.
You know, they never stop to think if they should. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And you're right, it's scary. It's very scary. You know, I don't want to be Charlton Heston. He was a great actor, but he was an actor.
From my cold dead hands. No, I agree. I think that it's, I don't know. The other part of it is that, well, the other part is we're going to break, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
We've talked ourselves right into a break. So don't go away, everybody. We will be back for more of the Paranormal Portal right after this. See you then.
Oh, chat's just going nuts.
Woo! Chat's going nuts. Crazy. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half hour of our show tonight. This is the Paranormal Portal. I am Brent Thomas, and I am joined by Don Longbeard, and we are burning the Friday or the Saturday night away. I've got to remember what day I'm on.
No, please back up one day because I'd love to have another day off.
Well, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. But yeah, we're doing a Paranormal Mayhem episode, and we are talking about pretty much anything and everything as we're coming across it. And we currently have a caller on the line. And this is our good friend Diane is joining us now. How you doing, Diane?
Hey.
Hey.
Well, you could have called. Hi, everybody. Love you. You could have called tonight. Bad movies coming true, or science fiction comes true, or
oh yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing, is it?
Nightmares out of movies happening in front of your eyes.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. That would imply we knew what we were going to talk about, but we don't. But go ahead. What were you saying?
I am a little bit on the rhesus monkey thing.
Oh, okay.
I guess what they say they're checking on is never really what they're doing, I don't think. Right?
Right.
They're never really going to tell us what they really are looking for.
Sure.
But what I suspect, two things. One, they want to know how we came about. Because we've already found, we are a created species, but not by who we thought we were being created by. Now, if that upsets somebody, I'm really sorry. But sure. If we can go by historical records of many people, we're a created species, but not necessarily by who we thought. And if you can believe the Sumerian tablets, then somehow the Anunnaki are responsible for us currently the way we are. Mm-hmm. And we are a lot like them if you read their accounts. They loved beer. They did a lot of same things we did. In fact, they should have been told, don't create drunk, don't drink and create life or something. But
sure.
Anyway, but they were always drunk. Anyway, what they're looking for, maybe I think how we started, but I think beyond that, I think they're trying to figure out what the difference is. I mean, somebody knows. You got to figure there are some of us that seem to have these throwback abilities mm-hmm. that the Anunnaki had, and maybe some of the other species had too. Because we know some species are telepathic, and that's just normal for them. And we know there are all kinds of things that some of these other species have that we don't have, that we probably could have, but has been turned off. Mm-hmm. And this is maybe what they're calling the junk DNA. I don't think there's really any junk DNA at all.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to figure out how to turn our superpowers back on. That's what I think.
But if they do, who's going to get them? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Hancock.
Yeah.
Well, that leads to story number 2 that you may or may not have heard of. And this comes from Linda Moulton Howe, who really one of her sources has told her that in Japan they were already testing robots designed for the military.
It's Korea,
and
I think.
They already got out of control.
That was Korea, but yeah.
And killed people.
Yeah, that was in Korea.
Killed 28 people or something.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, they had 3 of them. They had 3 of them, and they shut 2 of them off, and they disconnected the other one. And according to Linda, it figured out how to reconnect itself.
It just kept going.
And then it went on a rampage. Yeah, and apparently killed like 8 or 9 scientists.
So let's see. We've got Planet of the Apes happening. We've got Terminator going on in the background.
Yeah.
We've already know we've had a few poltergeist movies, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right here in the studio usually. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's like I'm just waiting which which movie's coming up next. I hope it's not that.
Yeah.
I hope it's not going to be something like Pacific Rim or
Oh
something.
my God. Yeah, but that'd be at least cool.
As long as it's
At least it's fun to watch until you died. But,
yeah. Well, that'd be something.
how many people out there want to join me in an Earthship community right
kidding.
now? Let's go.
I just read something
I don't know
about.
if you know what that is, but I've been telling people about an Earthship community. I really think it's the future and maybe the only future.
Actually, I just
because,
read I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, they're self-sustaining
Right.
and green, and you know, and pretty much can weather anything that comes along is what they're built for. So, you know, who wants to join me in an Earthship community? I mean, you know, it's really. I'm thinking of just going to Oregon and seeing if I can find
not
because they're kind of
Oregon.
get there.
Not Oregon.
Don says not Oregon.
No,
Why not Oregon?
Not Oregon. Where? Okay, where? Somebody tell me where.
Some of those.
Where can we do this?
Present company
What?
and future listeners, you know, exceptions. But for the coast of Oregon is a bit crazy.
Is it okay?
You know,
Oh, really?
I know our friend Travis in the chat. I know he's from that area. So no offense to anybody, but that's my humble opinion. And please remember, I'm originally from Seattle, so it's not much different.
Oh, okay. Oh, Seattle's different.
Not really.
Snooty dog.
No.
By the way, your beard has a lovely glow.
Oh,
tonight,
thank you.
Dawn.
Thank you. I love talking about my beard.
Yeah, we were going to get in the chat room. Not this minute, but it was earlier. It was glowing. You haven't been drinking any radioactive beer or anything, right?
Not that I'm aware of now.
We're not really sure what's in that jug, though.
Well,
I'm just saying.
it's from a Red River in
Okay.
Russia.
Yeah, I'll bet. Red River water. There you go.
Well, folks, I hate to say this, but you know, unless we start doing this stuff, we don't have much. I'm not trying to be down here. I'm trying to be hopeful and say we can still work this out, but, you know, we can still survive this. But, you know, all we need is for something to happen to the grid and all of the power plants are going to melt down.
Yeah, we go
And
backwards
what's to
150 years.
What?
Cockroaches,
you know,
cockroaches will.
And you know, the Terminator robots maybe. Maybe all this.
Well, we'll just
But,
we'll put the Terminators on a treadmill and connect the treadmill up to a generator. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Kind of like all the
Yeah, I
zombies.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. We can all go green.
I think really, an Earthship is the only answer. An Earthship community. I'm serious.
Well, you know.
I think we start thinking about it because when stuff goes down, it's better than a bunker. And if anybody really is interested in that, please get in touch with me because I'm sure there's somebody around. The reason I mentioned Oregon is there's a group there that I know of that will actually let you steward land. So basically, one of the things you need for that project is land, but I hear that it makes you feel safe to live because they're partly in the earth, that they feel very safe and secure when you're in them. And there's a vibe to them that makes you feel very protected. And I don't know, maybe that has some roots in our Hobbit roots. I don't know. Maybe we should just build a Hobbit Shire and.
What are these? Are they basically a greenhouse or what the hell's an Earthship though? I don't really understand.
Okay, well, they're made from recycled materials, and you start with a base of steel-belted tires.
Okay.
The used one. And that is the base, and you build partly into the earth, and then you use rammed earth, you fill them with earth, and you ram it down so that it's very solid, and then you build your structure that way. That's the structural part of it. And then they're always self-sustaining. And I think what I would use now, because concrete is not that great of a material, really. However, there is this new stuff called aircrete that they're working with now that is very much better, and they're actually molding homes out of aircrete. You can actually mold yourself. We're getting to the stage where we're going to be printing homes, I think, soon.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
Up a house.
Yep. They've been
you know what a 3D printer is?
Oh yeah, they've been doing 3D printing with concrete for a while now. Yeah.
Right. So I think we're going to see. Well, I don't know if everybody does, but you're pretty smart though, Uncle Britt and Dawn.
Well, thanks.
So not everybody has, researched any of this yet, but yeah, they are. I think we're going to be able to print our homes pretty soon, and then that might be a good thing to put over the tires. But and then they use bottles and cans and other things. Mm-hmm. The bottles come out beautiful because they come out looking like stained glass.
Yeah.
That's to let the light in, and then they have all kind of a system. The earth keeps it a constant temperature, and so you can actually manipulate the temperature really easily. The energy is not. It doesn't take as much energy to run something like that. If you design it right, you can even recycle water. I mean, if you're in a place that rains, you're really lucky or has a spring. But if you're not, they've even managed to make these things work out in the middle of the desert.
Oh, fantastic.
And then you also have a greenhouse part where you are growing at least part of your own food. Oh. So basically you're talking about an off-grid, green, and self-sufficient unit, and basically then you really don't have to work as much because you don't have that many bills, and
Right.
It actually, a lot of people like it better because they just don't have to work as hard to live. What's paranormal about that? I don't know. I think I don't know. Maybe it's just a little abnormal for me to be this interested in something like this. I guess maybe it might surprise some people, but honestly, it's been a dream of mine for some time.
Well, I think the whole idea of having a simpler life, I think, appeals to all of us and to a great degree. To kind of go back and embrace that simplicity and embrace the idea of having a harmony with the natural world around you, I think is very attractive to most people. But unfortunately, I don't know if most people are willing to accept the sacrifices that would take in terms of their modern life.
Well, true. It's like if you're the kind of a person who wants to have your Xbox and a computer in every room of the house and, all of that. If you're a big consumer of electricity, although really solar panels and wind farms and other things that they've come up with are, if you have a stream nearby, you can even use running water. They did in the old days.
Sure.
So all of these things can happen. I mean, the initial sacrifice is about getting the labor. It's kind of labor intensive at first, but then after you get everything permacultured, you have free food pretty much. You have free energy. Mm-hmm. You have free water. You have pretty much everything you need to live, and then you just can spend a lot of time doing your paranormal researching all you want, because
sure.
You have time. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to. There's a woman who made herself a gypsy Vardo and is living in an intentional community where you can get your little spot of land, and people have their rolling homes. It's like a type of tiny home. And you pay your lot fee, and you are part of a community, and they have a little community garden, and she says she works 2 or 3 hours a week in order to maintain the place, and she's fine.
Nice. Okay.
Now, how would that be for a deal?
It could be all right. as long as they have broadband internet, I'm good.
We need that.
Right. You know, I mean, you can have internet, and yeah, people even mention that. Yeah, they do have internet in these places. It's
Okay.
and the modern ones. Gosh, there are people who manufacture these things now,
Ladies and
and they
gentlemen,
manufacture.
welcome to Better Homes and Portals.
That's really funny too, because they've got a little thing that looks like the cooling vent goes through the earth in order to cool it, and the earth will actually cool the air for you, and it does look like a portal hanging there in the middle of the wall. So
Very good.
maybe there's your portal. I don't know, but yeah, it sounds like people are already on top of this, and it's something I'd like to. And really, you like I said, you'd have all kinds of time to look at all this other stuff. Everybody who figures things out, usually it happens because they had the time to think. I think one of the problems we have in our society right now is there's so many distractions, and one of them being work and having to come up with money all the time.
Sure. Oh
for
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, living in a debt society is definitely a stressful thing. It doesn't promote peace or longevity. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, excellent.
So usually people start thinking when they're actually sick or something, when they have to be offline for, they're sidelined for a little while, and then they start thinking, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on with this? There's something that isn't right here. That's when you start to realize something it doesn't quite fit here, and then you start looking around for the answers.
Right.
But basically, that I wanted to put my 2 cents worth in about about what I think about the Reese's. I think, honest to God, they're trying to figure out
that makes sense.
How to make their version of us.
Yeah.
To make their own little slaves. Okay, because if we were made to be, and then they went and did a really stupid thing and dumped the consciousness of some of their people that were basically political prisoners, the Ajiji, into those bodies. And the thing is I have a memory, I guess this is the paranormal part, I had a memory return to me early on after I died and came back, about being, and now I think I know what I was. I think in that life I was, and in a key, and I was arguing that this was going to somehow come back and bite us in the butt.
Sure.
That using our genetics. And it turns out that once you are family, once that you sort of share a consciousness. That is to say, so now they have really made the monkeys our brothers, and there is nothing to say that a human consciousness might not end up in a monkey body.
Well, you never know.
From a metaphysical point.
Yep. You never know.
And if that is so, then yeah, Planet of the Apes could happen, totally.
That's creepy. That's really creepy. But
yeah, that's the creepy part. Now there's a movie.
Yeah. But it's always it's always wonderful to hear from you, my lady. Thank you so much for calling in and being a part of the show.
Okay, thank you so much for listening to me. Love you guys.
All right, we love you too, Dee.
Night, Dee.
Take care.
Don't
Yeah.
All right,
Don't
good
let
night.
the parasites in the butt. Bye.
So gosh darn it. Is this thing live?
It popped in my ear.
Is this live? I can't.
There it is, almost.
Hey, nope.
We're using vocal effects here on the portal.
Hey, so anyhow, I wanted to say.
Yeah, we'll go back to like the first time you were on the show.
Yeah, no doubt.
What did you say, Don?
Yeah, just pass me that mic, would you?
Yeah, we used to hand the microphone back. When Don was first on the show, we had one microphone, and we had to share.
You wouldn't believe how much he talks.
Yeah, well, turns out I
Pass
need
that to
I need
me.
my own.
Dee brought up, Earthships and things like that. And yeah, basically you can basically call them hobbit holes and what they would look like. It's like an opening in the side of a hill, and you can put your basement in there, and whatever,
Mhm.
warrens, whatever, and I mean, and they are very, very efficient, because the Earth stays a constant temperature, 6 inches below it stays a constant temperature. So it's really an interesting idea, and yeah, I wouldn't go with the problem with solar and wind power is everything about the batteries.
Mhm.
Because to get a good battery, they have to strip mine for it.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. So that's where this green energy goes wrong. Is they're tearing up the earth to get the
Lithium.
lithium for the
Yeah.
batteries or whatever that is. Now they also have gel batteries, but then you have chemicals. So you damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I recently read that Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon,
Bezos. Yeah.
Bezos, yeah, he just hollowed out a mountain.
Jeez.
Apparently, he bought a mountain somewhere,
He's
hollowed
gonna
it
have
out.
his evil lair. It's an inactive volcano.
Yeah, well, it's too bad it's inactive. I actually
No,
work. I
I like
actually work.
Amazon.
I worked for Amazon way back in like 90,
Oh, did you? Oh,
93. Yeah, it sounds right. 93. That was a long time ago.
wow.
But also,
Yeah, I heard about that, Doc. I heard about that.
what's that?
Doc
What's
says,
that?
"Did you guys know that Jeff Bezos has his own space company?" I heard he's kind of and Elon Musk gave him some guff, going, "Yeah, well, you're still behind me."
Hey, Doc, how are you? And another thing is, she was talking about aircrete. Well, honestly, the best way to go is actually hempcrete.
Mm-hmm.
It's easily, propagated. You can turn it over. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
No, no. Do you see what Doc said?
Oh
You
no.
should tell Don that I'm moving to Oregon in 3 weeks.
Have fun. Stay on the east side.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That just cracked me up.
But well, that's okay because Ken said that my beard is muffling my voice. So
It's the static charge from the beard that keeps screwing
yeah,
up his
that's
microphone.
got to be what it is. But hempcrete, because you can turn over an acre of hemp and I hemp, industrial hemp. As a matter of fact, I believe they're about to make it legal, iHemp legal to grow in Idaho.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
I sit on how many acres?
Yeah.
That's not really doing any good for me.
There you go.
But so I think that'd be the way to go. But I've looked at hempcrete or iHemp, growing iHemp for a long time. And the other one I want to do is sugar beets.
Oh,
Sugar
you
beets.
can make your own sugar.
Yeah,
Sugar.
because you can't make moonshine without sugar.
Don's shine. Why does that just fit?
I don't
You sitting on a liquor bottle. It just seems to fit.
I forgot to bring my big liquor jug.
Oh.
It's like 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons. Like, yeah, baby.
Well, there you go.
But but sugar. Where is sugar going to come from if in this scenario that Diane brought up, the grid goes down? People are going to need sugar, and I know how to process it.
Ooh, Don's sitting on a bucket of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to the highest bidder.
No, I'll grow it and sell it, trade it, barter it, whatever that needs to be. But
Yeah, well,
people need their sugar.
absolutely.
Sugar.
We're all pretty much addicted to it.
sugar.
All right, then. I like pie.
I like pie.
All right, so let's continue our journey tonight. And all that stuff is important, and I think being prepared. A lot of people disparage the whole preparedness community, but honest to God, I think being prepared is responsible. It's not
Yes.
radical, because if things do go sideways, you got to be able to take care of yourself and
Yeah.
your loved ones. Otherwise, it's like, oh, it's not cool to be prepared until something goes wrong, and then it's really cool to be prepared.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, everybody that wasn't prepared is like,
Yeah, exactly.
"Can we come in, little pig? Little pig, let me in." Go screw yourself.
We're just in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yes.
and take yourself back out.
Yeah, chewing on cardboard out here, but we smelled something cooking. Yeah, that'll be exactly it. Yep. Oh, anyway.
Hey, do you know what food? What I don't really know
I
how to
smell
say
a joke
this.
coming.
No, it's not a joke.
Okay.
It's serious. Do you know that cornstarch is not natural? It can only be extracted through chemical process.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just FYI, cornstarch is not natural
Okay.
because you can't go out and pick some corn and make starch. It doesn't work.
Oh, all right. Gotcha.
Use
I'm,
potatoes.
I'm going to sleep better now. I was wondering about
Wow.
that too. It's just funny you brought it up.
You know what? And you know what? It's really too bad our friend James Anthony's not doing his show anymore, because that's the kind of stuff I wanted to share with him on his show. So, but anyhow, shout out to James Anthony. We haven't seen you in a while, so.
Yeah. Good guy. He is, for sure.
there
But
it is.
there's the bell, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the hour marker here on the portal, but don't worry. There's all kinds of mayhem just around the corner. Trust me. So we'll be right back.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid toy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking gas. Taking off the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet.
I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that's different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hour number 2 of the Paranormal Portal tonight. It's Saturday night extravaganza of Paranormal Mayhem here with Don and I, and we are just tearing it up. Wherever the hell he is.
He's that way. He's that way.
He's that way for real, but he's that way on screen.
Yes.
So it's craziness. It's all askew here in the portal, but that's how we roll. So got that going for us. But we hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you guys.
Where did he go?
What? Oh, I don't know.
Did he go?
I don't even know where the hell I am most of the time, Don. But much less worrying about nobody else. But we got a few of you people here, so I'm really glad you guys are here with us tonight. We are talking about everything and anything, and as long as it's in the neighborhood of the paranormal, and we've discussed a whole bunch of cloning and Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Because they if you missed it, they did some experiments on rhesus monkeys, injecting their DNA with human brain DNA and made them smarter. And
hey, they also did. What was it they were doing with Rh positive, and Rh negative blood with the rhesus monkey too? I forgot what that was. How did I forget? I don't know. But they were testing it on them too.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, they must be I wonder why the rhesus monkey. I wonder why that's the preferred. No animals were harmed.
Probably because they're small enough that if they get pissed, they're not a big problem.
It's like pissing off at Daddy Long, like, oh, you're trying to bite me, huh?
Oh, yeah, look at your leg now. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Sitting there wiggling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, hey, I'm down
get the
here.
magnifying glass out. Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are teeth?
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, but honestly, I really don't like the whole animal experimentation thing. I think that is an affront to everything good. Now, I know that a lot of great advances have been made that way, and I understand that, but, we're about at the age now where I'm pretty sure we can probably do computer simulations that would give us just about as much information as actual live testing. Yeah. I mean, with the power of computers and the ability to program in variables and have them run in real time, I don't think we probably need to keep injecting stuff into animals to see what happens. That's like a kid with a science test, a little chemistry set at home, and they try to make acid or something really intelligent. It's like, really? Yeah.
What'd you do now?
I don't know, but my finger's gone.
Why is it on fire?
Yeah. So, I think that hopefully that goes the way of the dinosaurs itself, because I think that is so cruel. And so, I mean, honestly, I think that all life is sacred. I really do. I really believe that. Even though sometimes it's hard to...
It's hard to not kill people.
Yeah, it's got to be hard. I mean, some people sure push that envelope as hard as they can, but I think underneath it all that, it's important to be good. It's important to, live in balance and honor life, Right. And the fact that there's such a disdain that these beings exist solely for the, the pleasure of these, researchers is... I don't know how anybody with any kind of conscience could do that. With any kind of conscience.
Right. Well, as a matter of fact, Hacker just said this too, from Project Paperclip. He said defected defector Nazi scientists, but that's not true. They did that to spare themselves their lives. Plus, it was a good deal. But yeah, I mean, you know, they brought a lot of that culture over here. I feel.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean,
I know that the communists in Russia were doing all kinds of crazy experiments.
the Russians were, absolutely.
Under Lenin and
Psychics
stuff.
all that kind of stuff too. Yeah.
No, I mean just even like trying to crossbreed apes and humans and stuff. There was all that stuff going on, not only in Nazi Germany but in old Russia, old Mother Russia.
Well, you know, but you know, if Germany was doing it and Russia was doing it, you can damn well bet America was doing it too.
Oh well, you know, I mean, there's no question that there's been a lot of really questionable things done.
In the name of science.
Well, in the name of national security.
Oh yeah.
You know, that as well, and certainly it's not good to test on humans. It's not good to test on animals, in my opinion. There's got to be other ways. I don't know. It's just me, and perhaps I'm being really short-sighted. Perhaps I'm ignoring all of the advances that have been made with those sacrifices. But still, it just seems like there's got to be another way. We've got to be able to be better than that. You know, let's watch this animal suffer and die, and we'll count how long it takes. It's like, really, is that the best you can do?
Saccharin's been proven to cause cancer.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this puppy with tumors all over. Yep, that's saccharin. It's like, you didn't know that? I mean, or do you need to still prove that? So anyway, I don't know. Just my 2 cents, but I certainly don't mean to bring it into a low place or a downer place on the show, because this is our mayhem night. We're not supposed to get all sad and reflective.
Hey.
Yeah.
Witnesses say choppers followed a triangle UFO.
Helicopters as in choppers,
choppers,
or like
Get to the
Harley
choppers!
or Harley riders.
No,
you know?
no, not Harley
Where are we
riders.
going with this?
Wisconsin witness.
Bunch of fat boys rolling down.
Hey, look out there. We better chase them.
I gotta go get on my chopper.
I bet you they got some of that earth shine with them.
Yeah, exactly. Earthshine. So tell me what happened.
A Wisconsin witness at Orfordville reported watching 2 helicopters apparently following a triangle-shaped object, according to the testimony. The witness was westbound along Highway 11 heading towards Broadhead at 5:20 p.m. on January 8th, 2018. Says, I saw a Greene County helicopter hovering over Broadhead. Pretty normal. They always come around here. Then to my left, I saw another chopper heading south going directly over me. Wanting to get a better look, I turned to look for the helicopter, and the tree line ends at this point. When I see it, I don't know what this was, but it was at least 4 times the size of the chopper and had 2 extremely bright white-blue, like daylight bulbs, lights coming from the rear that flashed every second or so. The witness pointed out, having grown up around an airport, there were no red green lights, and it was way too big and moving way too slow to be a plane. Plus, the size of the lights would have been the entire wing of a passenger jet. I have no idea what I saw, but 2 choppers were watching it too. The one followed it all the way to the Illinois border. I guess because the chopper flew south and stopped for a minute, then turned around and headed back. So, okay, the chopper got to the border and came back because it was out of jurisdiction. Actually, they can actually follow. That's fine. Everyone can give me garbage about not having a phone, but I was going to grab some food quick, and this is not a joke. There you go.
Where was this, though?
This was in Wisconsin, was it? Yeah, Wisconsin. Orfordville, Wisconsin.
Okay, now this is curious because I have a story pulled up here. It says, mysterious UFOs return to Manitowoc and the Lake Michigan Triangle.
There you go.
So apparently, if this is not the same story, then that's very interesting. When was that written?
2000, last January.
So a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's from April 12th.
Oh, that's actually a fresher one.
Yeah, this is fresh off the presses, pretty much. But this, again, is from Mysterious Universe. Mysterious UFOs return to Manitowoc and the Lake Michigan Triangle. And this is another article by Paul Seaburn. And it's dated April 12th. And it says, for those accustomed to short, blurry videos of alleged UFOs with little or no explanation of the location, circumstances, names of witnesses, amounts of adult beverages consumed, etc. A video posted this week of a UFO over Lake Michigan is a breath of fresh air, or at least as fresh as the air might be near a nuclear power plant. That's just the first piece of data about a mysterious sighting in an area that has a history of UFO sightings, not to mention a legendary place of unexplained disappearances known as the Lake Michigan Triangle.
Yep.
Welcome to Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And so they say this is an excerpt that he put into the article. It says, this short film explores witness testimony and video evidence for possibly the biggest UFO story of 2019. Stunning enhanced HD UFO footage, 8-bit granular audio analysis, dramatic recreation, and the voices of witnesses take viewers deep into the night of March 24th, 2019. So even the incident just happened. When a massive UFO was recorded in the vicinity of a Wisconsin nuclear power plant by a trained observer with some help from his friends. Includes public testimony of U.S. Marine Corps veteran Miles Panache. So I don't know where this video is because I don't see it on here. And, of course, I can't show it because I don't have permission to do so, and I don't want to anger the YouTube gods. Yeah. So I won't be able to do that. But I'm sure if you look for March UFO incident in Wisconsin, there probably is stuff out there that you might be able to check out. Let's see if it gives us any more information. It says newinsideout.com appears to be the exclusive source of this exclusive short film. And so it's New Inside Out, one word, newinsideout.com. So head over there, not now, but later after the show. We don't want to lose you. Don't leave us. And you can find this short film that includes apparently some pretty impressive footage. Now, I haven't seen this myself.
Not me yet.
This is pretty exciting. It says, what the videos show off include multicolored lights appearing at the apexes of a seemingly opaque wedge-shaped star destroyer-like spacecraft, attended periodically by additional luminous bodies in flight, blinking on and off in the nearby field of view. And it says, on March 8th, 1994, calls flooded 9/11 to report strange sightings in the night sky. The reports came in from all walks of life, from police and a meteorologist to residents of Michigan's many beach resorts. Hundreds of people witnessed what many insisted were UFOs, unidentified flying objects. So apparently there's quite a hot spot over there by Manitowoc. And, that's right on the shores of Lake Michigan. I believe so, yeah. And I have heard of the Michigan Triangle. It's apparently rivals even the Bermuda Triangle for strangeness. I can't claim to know a lot about it. I've just heard reference of it many times. I've never researched it, so I don't have any of that going on. But I think a lot of boats have disappeared, planes and such in that area as well. And it's quite a broad area, just like the Bermuda Triangle. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Don?
Well, the Great Lakes, we're talking about the Great Lakes area, right?
That's where we're talking.
Okay, so
Wisconsin. So.
Yeah, the Great Lakes has a mysterious triangle.
Yeah, that's...
And, because here's the thing. They used to, I don't know if they still can, but they used to bring you used to be able to come in to the Great Lakes from the ocean, from the Atlantic
for Red
Ocean.
October, remember?
Right, yeah.
Yep.
And so they used to, and this is way back in the day when they were bringing, like 1700s, 1800s, they were bringing them down through that portion between New York and, the Northeast Peninsula and Canada and down into the lakes there. And there have been reports of missing boats and people for literally a couple hundred years. So, it's not surprising that things are still going on there, so is it another Bermuda Triangle type thing? I'm going to say yeah. And, there's just so many things. As a matter of fact, if you want to go treasure hunting, that's where you go because it's all encapsulated.
Sure.
It's inside that, the lakes themselves that connect to the ocean. and therefore, as a matter of fact, there's a famous shipwreck that wrecked somewhere in one of the 5 lakes.
The Edmund Fitzgerald.
That wasn't a treasure ship though.
No,
was
it was a
cruise liner or something.
No,
like that.
no, it was one of the ore ships that were pushing around iron ore. and stuff.
Right. No, I'm talking about a treasure ship, like a. Oh, gosh, I hate that when I do that. Knights Templar style, and it's very famous. I just can't remember.
Very old or more
real old. Well,
Okay.
like old, like at least 1700s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty old.
Elizabethan time. Yes, that's old. But we're talking. Well, when you're talking about Knights Templar, you're talking about the year 1000, not
Right.
the year 2000.
Sure.
So that's ancient.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely something going on there. Maybe Bigfoot, comes in from, or maybe that's where all of our pleiadiosauruses went.
Yeah,
That's
you never know.
that's the hub of the the Pondere Paddler, like we were talking about.
Yeah, the underground aquifers
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly. They came in from the ocean. That's how they got there.
Could be, but they're pretty robust things that can survive in freshwater or saltwater if that's the case, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, very cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so if it'd be something probably interesting to look into what's going on out in the Michigan Triangle, but I've heard of it many times. Just I've never really been that enamored with the whole triangle thing with the Bermuda Triangle or the Michigan Triangle, and maybe it's because of the size and scale of it.
Right.
I'm more into personal phenomena and things people are experiencing firsthand. Like for the Michigan Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. Things just disappear. They're just gone. Like, there's not generally witnesses.
Never to be seen again.
There's no witnesses saying, "Hey, the boat was there," and then boom, it wasn't there. I've never heard that kind of feedback from those phenomenon. And so, if it's a global thing, if it's something to do with the geology, or if there's some weird phenomena going on that has to do with just the Earth itself,
Right.
It's one of those things that how do you really explore it? How do you really research it? Or is it UFOs? Are there an underground alien bases there? Who knows? Maybe.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I'm not saying that cheekily. I mean, that's certainly possible. There's many people that believe that all the UFO phenomena in and around our planet is coming from our planet. And, of course, we've talked about the artifacts out of place, or what is
Right.
it?
Oparts.
Oparts, yeah. Artifacts out of
place.
Out of place artifacts.
Artifacts.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
That helps.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
I like that term.
the Adirondack, or, I keep...
Adirondacks.
Adirondack, yeah, that's the thing. For some reason, ladies and gentlemen, my brain will not process Adirondack for any length of time. Don can tell you, ever since he's been doing the show with me, whenever that word comes up, he has to correct me. It will not stick in my gray matter. It just won't.
Keep slipping out.
I can hold it for about an hour, and then it'll be a Adirondack all over again. So yeah.
Adirondack.
Yeah, I mean, I know it right now because you just corrected me, but that's just some kind of weird mental quirk of mine. Maybe it's my MK Ultra trigger word or something.
Oh
I don't
my.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Mr. Sex kitten over here.
Not that kind of trigger word. That's a safe word, Don.
Oh no, that's horrible.
That's a different thing entirely.
That's something different.
I don't know.
That's only for me and the missus.
Yeah, well, I'm not sharing it. That's all I'm saying.
You're not Sharon.
Nope.
And don't call me Sharon.
Hey, quit calling me Sharon, damn it. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, but I think those are really cool, and I don't discount that something strange is going on in those situations. It just is such a broad scale, and there isn't. I mean, all we know is that things go missing.
They just disappeared.
Right. So
They're uported.
It's a dead end for me personally.
Those would actually be
deports.
deports.
Yeah, those would be deports. So.
That's a serious deport. You're all out of here. Get out.
Yeah.
Call ICE.
Yeah, exactly. So, but cool stories, and I hope you guys, enjoy them as well. But I like covering a broad spectrum, and I'm not opposed to having those discussions about these phenomena. It's just that I don't know where to go with it personally, because it happens, and it doesn't happen all the time either. It's just, that many people have flown through the Bermuda Triangle hundreds or thousands of times with no weird events happening, but every once in a while, boom,
just
something
takes
will
one
trigger.
down.
Right. So anyway.
Yeah, I will never fly over the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, look, there's Dawn. It's like, oh.
We've been waiting for this one.
He wants to see something. We'll show him something.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the probe.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, okay. Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. What? Why are you laughing? Be careful what you ask for. Well, I know it's wish for, but you've asked to have an experience.
I asked.
Yeah.
Asked. There's no K in that word.
I know. I caught it. I'm just.
I had to explain it.
I'm waiting for you to get to middle school. All right. So.
My goodness.
All right. Let's see what else we can find here. Did you have something else you wanted to share?
Yeah, sure. I got another UFO story.
And the call-in lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. So
They
please
are.
feel free to call in.
720-923-0500. Call now, and you'll win a whole bunch of
You'll win our undivided attention for a period of time.
For a period.
That's all we can afford to give you right now. So.
Time is valuable.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. A shape-shifting UFOs. UFO encounters may be frightening as witnesses observe never before seen objects moving in incredible ways. But some sightings are further stressed when the objects morph into different shapes. 4 shape-shifting UFO sightings were listed in a recently released book, UFO Cases of Interest, 2018 edition. A New Mexico witness at Albuquerque reported watching a boomerang-shaped object just 500 feet away that hovered and seemed to change shape while moving.
Ooh.
The witness was outside walking north on a lunch break at 12:30 p.m. on March 2nd, 2017, so 2 years ago. A light gray shape caught my eye, the witness stated. The object was approximately 500 feet away and about 50 feet in the air over a building.
Wow.
At first, I thought it was a flock of birds. And I said, that's interesting. What kind of birds would those be? It seemed to be moving east at a slow flutter. Then it disappeared, like it folded back up into the sky. The witness thought it was strange, really. It then reappeared in a fat boomerang shape. It seems to be made of multiple light gray, possibly reflective objects, but working together like a school of fish or sequins on a purse or a dress. It did seem to have a common background that was gray or black. It was still fluttering, and it paused and hovered and moved backwards just slightly. At this point, a bare tree blocked my view, but the witness says he kept walking to see the object. Yeah, to see the object again.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the shape again, it had changed. It had become a soft, billowy, upside-down parachute shape, or the bottom of a puffy cloud, or a puff of factory smoke. I almost convinced myself that it was a deflated weather balloon. In Albuquerque? No way. But then there was no top to the shape, only a distinct bottom. The color of the object seemed to blend with the sky. I could only decipher a gray, dark gray, sitting in the bottom of a cloud.
Wow.
Then the object changed again. My God, I want some of what he's got. Now it became almost transparent, as if the sun were reflecting on an invisible craft. Now there really is no overall shape that I can make out. I saw a few smaller, very rigid shapes like flat prisms or solar panels, and they seemed to fold backwards into the object, and then the whole object faded away. Now here's what I like about this. The witness says these events occurred in about 20 to 25 seconds.
Woof.
So this all, how can you even perceive all those changes in 20 to 25 seconds?
That's pretty intense. Very cool.
It was an implanted memory.
It could be.
He was abducted.
Now, we had a request from the chat room
Oh.
from Hollywood.
She wants to hear me. They want to hear me sing?
No, that certainly wasn't it. Oddly enough, you'd think that they'd be clamoring for that, but no, that's not what they're after.
Dang it.
What she's after is something to do with dreams. So I found a couple things to share with you
Our
tonight.
dream warrior over there.
Dreamer. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that I have those kind of
Dream
dreams.
a little dream for me. Sorry.
You just went full karaoke on
There he
us.
went. Did it again.
Jeez. No wonder that mic is broken.
I know. Huh?
Sorry.
The Smuggler's Blues. Is that the one from
Don Henley.
Don Henley? Yeah, he was. That was in Miami Vice.
Yep.
That was the Miami Vice soundtrack. I had it.
Yeah, I did too. I used to love that show.
Awesome.
You're like the Tubbs to my Crockett.
More like crotchet.
Oh, how do you get out of that one without sounding like a pig?
You usually kick people.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of desk between us. You're
Thank God.
kind of fortunate. As I awoke from a dream this morning, I felt myself gently enter my body. We assume that because dreams don't make sense, that they are dreams and not astral experiences. I believe, however, that all dreams make sense. It's just that we don't understand them. I also think dreams are, in fact, subtle. Oh, you got a bell. I'm going to have to do this on the other side, Holly. I apologize. I wasn't manning the clock. And so we'll be back and we'll get into the dream stuff for you. Don't go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Oh, that off-the-air banter of Don and I. It's just so cute. Anyway, I don't know if your mic's working again.
You know, that's not surprising.
It's kind of going... It sounds like you're talking through a kazoo. You know, those little tin things. Ow, right in my ear. You sound like the teacher on Peanuts. That was your best contribution all night.
Thank you. It's obviously my best imitation.
That's got to be the static charge in that beard.
I don't know, man.
There you are.
Oh.
Welcome back.
Well, you know, I cut my... Hello? Hello? Oh, hey.
It's kind of doing it again.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. We'll
Here,
switch
let
it
me
out
rub the
again.
beard on there real quick. All right, let's try it again.
That's it. I think it started working there at the end.
Yeah, well, it's... Nope.
Let me know when you're ready, or just unmute it yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am... Go ahead.
Check.
There you are. Welcome back, Don.
Thank you.
I'm going to try reading this again, and this time on the safe side of the break. But it was a good warm-up. Excuse me. Now, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So, it says the only difference between a dream and a projection is that the unconscious mind controls the dream, whereas when you separate, you're consciously aware. And that's why even after you separate from your physical body, you can slip into a dream, which transfers control back to the unconscious mind. It's not that you've returned to your physical body, just exchange control. People say when they leave their body, they see all sorts of strange things. Is this any difference than a so-called dream? It's terribly small font. I'm sorry. We have locks on our physical doors to keep out the things that we don't want, but in the astral, it's a free-for-all, unless you know how to construct your own boundaries. You may also see crazy things in the astral out of choice. If something is unpalatable to us, our unconscious mind will morph it for us. This is also why people block out their own past miseries and forget them completely on a conscious level. Astral dreams, I prefer to call them this, serve a wondrous purpose. If you were to keep an astral dream journal, you would see that your unconscious mind or higher self is always serving you. It teaches you exactly what you need to know to realize your perfection. In truth, the only teacher we need is ourselves. There is no other teacher that will be as patient as your higher self. Your higher self knows where you're at in your cycle of growth and feeds you what you need to know at the perfect time. It doesn't project fears or biases onto you like a teacher might, and nor does it rush you. An example of this is a reoccurring dream that I have. In this particular dream, something is said to me that triggers my ego. I said egg. My ego to react. You got to understand this gray font on a light blue background. It's terrible. And so, where was I? Okay, so my ego to react. Over and over, I fall victim to the bait as my unconscious mind waits patiently for me to awaken in this dream and let go of my ego. Notice I don't say control the ego, because with control, the ego is still present. It's the letting go of ego that is the goal. In physical awareness, I would not react as I do, but in the dream, I do. When we've overcome our obstacles on a dream level, then we've worked out the lesson. This is no different than Robert Monroe or William Bullman's reoccurring dreams of fear. Both were repeated until the lesson was learned, at which point those dreams stopped. For those of you who have read Verses on Contemplation, you may remember my dream where I was fighting good against evil. Evil under my vengeance. Evil was under my vengeance, and I was really getting into the fight. Then evil morphed and slipped easily from my grasp and said, "I've always loved you." The only role I serve in your life is to teach you about yourself and how far you still need to come in learning love. Buddha said that his enlightenment was from being awake, but I'm sure he was awake on every level. Awake to the fact that there are no dreams, only reality. We exchange one reality for another every night, and every night our higher self lovingly waits for us to awaken. So next time you complain, you never project. Know that this is just not true. Now, this came from a site called Astral Voyage, and the article was called Astral Dreams. And very cool. I think it's very powerful, and this author may very well be right on the money. I don't know. I don't pretend to know much about dreams. I just know I have some really bizarre ones that I meet people that I knew that have passed every once in a great while. So, and those are very cathartic and comforting. So, I have one more for you, Holly. I dug up as well. That isn't so much of a wisdom thing. It's just more of somebody's experience, and it's coming out of Tennessee. And it says, "Oh, this is a long one too. You're getting all kinds of love tonight." So it's coming out of Tennessee, and it says, "When I was a child, a distant relative told my mom that I was gifted and given the family history. My mother knew what she meant." I got a buzz on my phone here. Let me look. Oh, cool. From an early age, I have possessed this uncanny ability to dream things that come true. Oftentimes the dreams are pointless, just random conversations that play out word for word at some random future time. Other times they are warnings or appear to be horrible experiences that I witness others suffering. Sometimes I don't dream about people, but about houses or buildings. Sometimes the time period is current, while others, it is obvious that the events I'm dreaming of took place at a time that predated my own birth. Sometimes I'm an active participant, while other times I am the proverbial fly on the wall. These dreams are intense, nonetheless, as I can smell and feel and hear and even read in these dreams. Often parts or all of the dreams are in color, and I may know the people or places in my dreams intimately, while other times they and their locations are complete strangers to me. I can't explain why I have them, and thankfully they don't happen very often. It's just an oddity that I've accepted as part of what makes me who I am. For example, prior to the tragedy of 9/11, I kept dreaming about being at work with a specific group of people, and I remember where we were standing and what each of us was wearing. And in this dream, are you okay?
Sorry, yeah, no.
Okay. In this dream, we're standing around the desk of another employee, and we're watching television, and we're watching a news broadcasting of the building fall. I remember the disquieting silence broken only by the occasional sob, and I remember one specific employee, a very tall and typically jovial gentleman, wiping tears from his face with a handkerchief embroidered with a red C. And I would wake up understandably shaken and uneasy, and almost as if my very core was grieved by the dream. Though I would always think how absurd the dream was, because the company I worked at on that ill-fated day was a Fortune 500 company, and we certainly weren't allowed to stand around and watch television. Beyond that, where would we find a TV? Then it happened. Just like I dreamt, the same people, the same clothes, the same smells, the same location, and the same actions, all of it, just as I had dreamed, even down to the red C on Chris's handkerchief. As it turns out, our director had brought in her own TV so that we could stay abreast of the situation throughout the day. In my dream, I never knew what led up to the building falling, nor did I know what building it was that we were watching fall. That's the dilemma. I don't always get all the details in the dreams, often don't make sense even after they have come true. Another time in a more random dream, I was standing up with my brother in the aisle of a store having a conversation about what color of markers come in a standard 8-count box. And then it came true. I wondered why I would dream that moment and that seemingly useless conversation before it actually happened. It just doesn't make sense, but that's how it happens for me. More often than not, I dream about houses and places. I've dreamt about mountaintop camp and a high tower overlooking a large lake lined with small dark brown cabins, only to drive past that very spot several years later when I was lost and had no phone or GPS reception. Though I never stepped foot physically on that property, I know where the bathrooms and where the main hall with the cafeteria, the nurse's office, the chapel were all located because I dreamed about it. Once during my college way back in the early 90s, I was dating a guy who had family in rural West Virginia. Now, I've never been to West Virginia before, much less to this very remote mountainous area where many of the homes still don't have indoor plumbing and even some that had no electricity. And the guy I was dating was quite a skeptic who refused to believe that I had dreamed about things that had actually come true. So as we started down this very narrow one-lane road, I gasped and remarked that I had been to the little farmhouse we'd just passed in a dream. Seeing an opportunity to challenge me, he began to ask me about the house. What did it look like on the inside? How many doors led into the house? And so on. I described the floor plan and the furniture and the hideous color of the living room. Unbeknownst to me, this was the home of one of his cousins, and with devious delight, he decided to prove me wrong. We turned around at the next driveway and went back to the quaint little farmhouse. Imagine his shock when we walked in and it was exactly as I had described it to him just moments before. His cousin had remarked that his wife had painted the living room the hideous color after the home had been vandalized by their daughter's ex. Turned out that the ex-beau had sprayed lewd words and pictures in black spray paint along the living room wall after their breakup. Well, I can't imagine that. He sounds like a keeper.
Yeah. He's a Suda.
Woo, that's a keeper. The hideously dark color was all that had been able to find to adequately cover the graffiti. He never doubted me again for the rest of our relationship. Except he apparently doubted the relationship. Sorry. That just popped into my head. Oh, God. Sometimes I have very vivid recurring nightmares. One in particular haunted me for months. In the dream, it was winter and there was a thick blanket of snow and I could hear it crunch beneath my feet as I walked. In the distance, I could hear the sound of music from an old Victrola, and I struggled through the cold and snow towards the scratchy music. Down in what old folks would call a holler sat a very large white farmhouse, and it was almost hidden in the snow. And as I got close, I started to walk in the slush. Made my tires and wagon wheels. I don't understand what that sentence meant. The house had those very elongated, narrow windows, and it was a very unfriendly-looking place, as icicles hung like fangs along the roof line from the tops of the long, dark windows, and there was a few chickens roosting on the seat on the porch. Sitting on the side of the porch, with feet so purple they were almost black, was a small boy, maybe 7, with dark, unkempt hair and big, pleading eyes made darker by the circles, and I asked him where his parents were, and he pointed at the house. In my dream, I thought it was too cold for him to be barefoot, and I wondered why no smoke came from either chimney in the far ends of the house. I could hear the creak of the porch and the clank of my boot as I walked towards the door. The smell of garbage was rot and overwhelming inside the dark and dusty house. The only light was what little gray light the windows let in, and there was trash and dirty tin plates everywhere except this thin trail that led down the middle of the dark hallway. I walked past the stairway and on into the kitchen, and the table was covered with leftover food and what appeared to be homemade butter. In the sink there was blood and what appeared to be a raccoon hides, and the air was filled with the coppery smell of fresh blood, and I gagged. Behind me I heard the sound, and it was the silent little boy. He didn't say a word, just pointed up the stairs. I was stepping on dead flies, rat droppings, and papers, and God only knows what else, as I climbed the stairs, and it was a horribly filthy place, and I wanted to vomit, but something stopped me. When I reached the upstairs landing, and to my left was a door nailed shut with barnwood. To my right was an open door leading to 2 sleeping areas separated by an open-faced fireplace that sat empty and cold. And I started towards the right, but I heard something behind the boards. It was faint at first, but I knew it was a person. I ran to the boards and started knocking, and to my horror, someone was knocking back, and I could hear them, and from the sound I could tell that they were female and weak. I started down the stairs to find something to use to pry those boards free, and there he stood, that sad, silent little boy. He had a tear running down his face. I grabbed his shoulder in my hands, and he turned his head to the left and pointed towards the door, and I would wake up. Each time my heart would be racing, and I would have to I would have this fear that I needed to save the person walled up in that room. I had this dream over and over and over. Well, I shared more than I intended, but I wanted to know. Has anyone else had something like this happen?
Nope.
No, I can honestly say I haven't. Wow, is that creepy as hell, though?
Right.
Ugh, I don't like those kind of stories much, but what do you do? It's all on the board here on the portal. And so there's a couple dream stories for you and dream information. I don't know. Don, what do you think of that story?
I'm trying not to break into song.
Oh, please. Please, don't.
Having so very few dreams and so very few dreams that I remember, and I should say so few dreams of those dreams that I remember. I would be eerily concerned if I had, say, precognition dreams like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to tell the future. I want to know what the future holds, but I want to know it from the building side, like right now, building the portal.
Right.
I want to know what it's like now. I don't want to know. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. And so I don't want to know, but if I have a dream that I remember and it's of, me not grinding away for somebody else, for a living, then that's great. But I'm, and I'll look forward to it, and I'll try my best to manifest. But I don't want those kind of things to manifest,
Right.
Somebody said something the other day on one of like the Bigfoot Facebook pages I follow. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was about the dogmen. One guy says, well, maybe they're not really dogs. Maybe they're because there's baboons and baboon type squatches. Maybe it was a baboon squatch. I'm like, no.
Type 4.
No. It's
somewhere West Germer smirking.
A dogman is not yeah, he's like, yeah, that was a good beer. But dogmen are definitely canid. So the point is that that it's how I think it has everything to do with your imagination. However, I do think when you're asleep, because those filters are cleared and the subconscious takes over and your ego is stepped aside, that definitely really does open up channels. And so who knows, maybe I may end up with a precognition type dream. And I told somebody, I said I believe that I manifest my destiny, and I don't want to manifest that kind of destiny. Speaking of specifically Slenderman, because somebody threw in the Slenderman, and Dogman. I don't want precognition dreams of things like that. So somebody to have a dream like that is beyond me. They in the chat they were talking about DNA dreams, about their ancestors and things like that, and then also Duke mentioned something pre-incarnation dreams, where you die and you go back in time and are reborn in that older timeline. Yeah, okay, whatever. Right. Who am I to say what's going to happen? What is possible and what is not possible? But it would bother me. It really would bother me.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I think the hard part about those kind of dreams would be the inability to do anything except what's going to unfold, because this person is not having the profound enough dream to figure out who, what, where, why, when. They're just seeing a situation unfold and little snapshots.
Yeah, nothing they can do about it.
Right, and there's no quantifying data with it, and not like next Tuesday we're going to be watching the TV and seeing this tower fall. It's like, they don't know. It's I do, whenever something horrible or tough is going to happen, I do get forebodings. But it's just in the sense of just having this really crappy feeling.
Right. That's the empath.
Right, but that's the anguish too, because the problem with it is that all I can tell you is that something really screwed up is going to happen.
Right.
I can't do anything about it. I I guess the only good thing is that I can brace for it, rather than being completely surprised by something. Yeah, but I mean, you just kind of pucker up and get ready because something's coming down the pipe, and you know what I mean. It's just, I don't mean it to be a bathroom reference so much, but it kind of turned out that way. But I think it's the and maybe that's just a part of developing those senses to be able to get more information so that maybe you can change it. Because what is the use of a premonition if you have no control over it?
Well, and Hollywood says, whereas the first story talked about creating your dreams and having control over it to make the setting. So reminding us that, there are the POVs, the point of views.
Right. So these kind of things are almost like you're given you're going to take a test, but you know that one of the answers is 12, but you don't know which one, So you got like 50 questions on there, but you know enough to know that one of them is going to be 12.
It's 42.
Yeah, well, that's all
Number
of them.
42 is 12.
Yeah. So
that's all of them. The answer to life, universe. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
But I just think that, it's that it maybe is the start of something. Maybe it's the start of an ability that you could hone and you could work on developing, and maybe then you could get more information to be able to proactively change things. Not that, in the case of the towers falling, that this person being aware of it would have mattered at all. But, because that's quite a global kind of scale of event.
Right.
But, yeah, very wild. Very, very wild. So I think dreams are powerful and they're pretty cool, but, we're down to about the 3.5 minute mark.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
These nights go by so fast, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. It's almost like we're in the time warp again.
You got me thinking about that dream I told you about when I met Odin.
Yep.
And Odin's the Allfather said, "Merlin, it's time to come home." That was like the dream that I can remember the best.
That's a pretty cool dream, though.
And it is a pretty cool dream, but it's that precognition. Now that I think about it, it's precognition. It's like when you die, this is it. You're not being reincarnated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you done?
I don't know. Everything. My mic just went dead.
I guess you are done.
I am. Good night, everybody.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah said she loved the show. I hope you guys love every show, and of course, doing a show like this is always, it's always rolling the dice. You don't always know what things are going to really resonate or not, but you guys are just the most incredible audience because I don't know if it matters what I bring to the table. You guys are always really gracious and awesome. So thank you for that, and thank you for, keeping the Paranormal Portal amazing every show. Are you trying?
Yeah, I'm trying, but it's not working.
No?
No, because I wasn't muted when I did that.
Yeah, that's weird. I heard a pop.
Nope.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
That
this one just does not
no, ladies and gentlemen, we have other microphones, and we've tried a few other microphones, and Don continues to have this same problem. We've used other microphone cords. I've put them on other channels. He still has the same problem. So Don apparently has some kind of interaction with microphones. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what it is. Are you there?
No.
Yes, you are.
Oh, there I am.
No, you're not.
No,
Yes, you are. No, you're not.
I think I blew this mic.
Teacher.
I know if I blew this mic, I know exactly when it happened too.
Oh, when?
The Super Blue Blood Moon, January past.
Oh, were you using that one then, or were you using the other one?
This is the one I was using, and that night it went funky, and that was it.
I don't know if you were though, because I think you were still using that other one.
No.
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe because we were gonna hunt for a different cable too that night, and then
it just all blew apart that night.
Yeah.
So it was the night January of 18, the Super Blue Blood Moon.
Yeah, that
was a horrible. It was a Wednesday night. It was horrible.
It was a horrible night. I thought I was dying.
I thought I was just gonna break everything.
So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to stick around because Jimmy Jean will be coming up next with Into the Microcosm here on TFR iHeart. Tune in and TalkStream Live. But you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all that you guys do to keep the portal fantastic and spreading the word, sharing it with everybody that you know that loves the paranormal as well. We are growing, and it's an amazing ride. again, some big news around the corner, but I can't let you know yet. Just putting it out there. But I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and laugh as much as you're able. Don, anything in closing?
I love you guys. Oh, and be sure to tune into Paisley Wild's show Friday night, 11 p.m. on TFR. That's at 11 p.m. PST. PST? Yes.
PSD.
Yes.
PSD. Yes.
PST.
The spaces between.
The spaces between, yes.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll be back tomorrow night with the Paranormal Portal bedtime stories. So
Thank you
I hope you guys
all.
will tune in. 7 p.m. Pacific time, 7 days a week. There's always a portal. Take care, guys.
Bow, bow, bow.